So in the previous session, we have studied how to configure a Maven project. So let's start for the making of first test. This is a default test by Maven, delete it. Okay, and let's make a new class. Name it as we are using weather API, weather, and I will be showing get request. Make it at get requests. When we are using test ng, to tell the test ng that we are writing a test, we have to write this test annotation. Then the function name public void, let it name it at test 01. Okay. Above this, write the comment simple. What we'll be doing in this test, that is simple get request. I will import this test ng annotation library, and also this test ng is added here. If not, okay, and let me also add the annotation for getting weather request by city name. Okay, by city name. Save this. Using of REST assured API, we need to import a library. Import. Okay, the library is first com dot. Okay, JWay. I have already told we are using JWay REST assured, and this REST assured, and we will be calling it static import. Okay, so that we don't need to create an object for it, and we will be downloading all its classes. So if I click on this, you will find here this given get etc. Suppose this is the API. When you click on this, authorization required. Now let's study this URL. Till here, it is the URL of the website, the API we want to hit. Then we have the parameter. The first parameter is the city. I will remove this. We are not doing the country right now. The city, and the another is the authorization key. The key which we get by registering upon this open weather map. So that's why it is giving me an unauthorization error. If I copy this key and I paste it here, okay, my key, and if I enter, so it works fine. We get a JSON request here. Now first of all, let's understand how you can send this GET query with the help of Java code and using REST assured API. First of all, there is a command GET. GET, you need to enter the URI. In the URI, we will enter this. Okay, in a single line. We won't need the UK. Okay, and this, and save this. So in this, what we are doing, we are saying get. I already told you that in the API, REST APIs, we have 4 functions: get, post, put, and delete. So here, what we are doing, we are giving some data, city name and ID, and we are telling it give the weather report. So let's execute it. Run this as a test-ng test. It is executed successfully. It is passed. Whenever a API is passed or fail, there is a status code returned. When this API hit the server, there is a response code which tells this API was successful or not. Suppose if this was a successful, the code return was 200. If I make a different authorization key, let's this one, and if I enter, so what is the code return is 401 unauthorized report. There are other status code which tell the API was successfully sent or not. To get the all of the list, what are these status code? So just type JSON status codes. These are the codes, like 200 is for OK, 201 is for accepted. Okay, so we were getting 201 here. Okay, it is for unauthorized. So similarly, various response codes will be returned. It is the Wikipedia HTTP status code return for each and every API which is sent to the server. Yes, we have sent this API using the GET, but we want to check was this API a successful or not. So we want to fetch its response code. Now how we can fetch that response code? We will make an object of response. What this response do? This response will store all the information which is received by this get command. What is all the information which is received? Let me give a proper ID here and enter. This is all the information which I receive from the get command. So using this response, I will be extracting all the information which this get command receives. So I am using when. This is a simple English language with REST assured APIs. First of all, when, what I want to do, when I want to send this get request, so it will return me the response. So these annotations, these REST assured annotations are very good. So they work in when, again, then, etc. In the later sections, you will be getting very used to that how it is work, and you will finding pretty easy that what the this when get is getting. Okay. So now from this response, we want to check if the status code was returned right or wrong. So you can write response dot get response. Sorry, get status code. Okay, get status code. So what this will do, it will from this response, it will find the status code, and let's print it. Let's print this status code, what it's giving. Save this and execute now. It is giving me 200. That's perfectly right. Now let me suppose modify this. Let me remove E and save this and run this. The response code here is 401. When you're making a smoke suit for your API test, you can work in the similar manner. This test would return status code 200. Now let it make it E back again to E. You can make a different test case here, and you will be giving at status code 401. You enter an invalid key. Okay, change the test case name. I will be using test-ng assert condition. Assert dot equals give me. Okay, I will be comparing if the status code return is 200 or not. So what is the actual status code which I have returned? It's response dot status code, and what I am expecting, I am expecting is response code 200, right? So I will write 200 here and save this. Similarly, if I write here, in this case the status code returned should be 401, else the test would fail. Now run this test-ng test. So there were two tests and both the test case passed, because in first case it was 200, and the second case, as the key was wrong, it should return 401. Let's say if the status code return was different, if in your first test case if this E was missing, then let's see what will happen. If I run this as a test-ng test, and if you check here, your first test case is failed. The reason was failure is because in your first test case you were expecting 200 status code, but it returned 401 because your key was wrong. Okay, so this is how you can develop your test cases. You know the status code, that in case of successful, status code will return 200. So give correct URL and it should return 200. If it does not return 200, your API test would return a false. Okay, and it will be shown in red color. That was a simple test, a GET request. Continue with more GET requests and using this REST assured library to fulfill.